All right. Hello? Is it working? Is it working? Is this working? All right. Okay. All right. So, did I do this right? Yeah, I think I did. So, okay. Wait. It's working. It's working. It's working. It's completely working. And it's not recording OBS. Let me open this. Let's see. Is it recording OBS? Because I kind of need OBS. It's not. Okay, it's not. All right. That looks good. So, is that working? Okay. Think it's working. Alright, I can see things. I can see the stuff. It's not going quite how I thought it would, but for me, it's fine. I can see it. Just gotta have that full screen. Okay. It is actually visible. Alright. Anyways, last time when I did a live stream, it was very spontaneous. I did not know what videos to watch. Now, I have 3 lined up. They are 9 minutes, 10 minutes, and 20 minutes. It was a total accident that I lined them up in length. So, let's just mix that up. I don't want it lined up in length. Too organized. Alright. So, I think I should just get started then. It's like, so it's looking good. Time to go. Alright. First one is 21 YouTuber Easter eggs in movies. This one's 40. Okay, yeah. So we have 21 YouTuber Easter eggs in movies, 46 greatest video game Easter eggs, 1980 to 2025. That one I'm excited for. Of course, that's the longest one. And 24 video games that roasted movies. Wait. Oh, wait, there's a South Park video game. Okay. Is the volume good? Is the volume good? I can't tell if the volume's good. I actually don't know. Let me monitor OBS real quick. Looks like it is at -5 decibels. Is -5. Oh, okay. 6 subsies. 6 subsies. That's better than 0. Alright. So, get ready for absolute fun. Yeah, I was gonna say fun. It's not gonna be like chaos or something. No. What am I filming? Helldivers 2? No. Alright. Everything's good. We can finally get in. Oh, actually, real quick, I'm just kidding. No. So, combined time of... I don't want to do the math. By the way, at some point there will be background noise. My dog's gonna be given a bath. All right. Let's get into the first video. 21 YouTuber Easter eggs in movies. Hope the volume's good. Last time apparently it was a little wonky. I'm gonna keep the video volume at 100% because usually when I can't hear myself talk, that's actually okay.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is one of those movies where everyone's waiting for their favorite characters to show up. I just don't think anyone expected a YouTuber to be one of them. When James Marsden gets destroyed in volleyball and falls to the ground, you can catch a glimpse of his teammates. Recognize the guy in the middle?
Hello there.
Yeah, that's Preston Plays, and he won't be the only Minecraft YouTuber to secretly appear in a movie.
Okay.
But before we
Okay, that one is actually, like...
think anyone expected a
Is
YouTuber
this-
to be one of them. When James Marsden gets destroyed in volleyball and falls to the ground, you can catch a glimpse of his
Is this really an Easter egg? I mean, I didn't notice it, but with how easy it is to notice, I feel like my dumb eyes are the only ones that cannot see it. So, is that really an Easter egg?
teammates. Recognize the guy in the middle?
Hello there.
Yeah, that's Preston Plays, and he won't be the only Minecraft YouTuber to secretly appear in a movie. But before we get to those guys, let's take you to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I know, it's the last movie you'd expect to find a YouTuber, and yet this actually has a cameo from the world's biggest creator.
It's just a bad Mickey Mouse costume. It's real! I touched it!
Now your ears are not...
Wait. Okay,
It's a bad Mickey Mouse
I know
costume.
what that voice is. This jacket has the logo. By the way, what? Alright, close. I don't need that anymore. It was a window. Yeah, he has the logo right on his vest, right here. I can't zoom in. Right there. That is the Mr. Beast logo.
Oh, I touched it!
Now your ears are not playing here.
It's just a bad Mickey Mouse costume. It's real! I touched it!
Now your ears are not playing tricks on you. That was Mr. Beast, confirmed by the logo on his jacket.
Wow.
Taking things from one YouTube legend to another, everyone who watched the Minecraft movie immediately realized this pig with a crown was way too familiar. Of course, this was a scene added for the late Technoblade, but did you know this wasn't even going to be in the movie at all? Sebastian Hansen, who plays Henry, approached the director while shooting and brought up Technoblade. He mentioned how everyone loves him and how he'd like to honor him. Luckily, Jared Hess, the director, was fully on board, and that resulted in the most iconic cameo inside the whole movie.
That's a legend.
But that wasn't the only Easter egg that dominated a film's marketing. When Five Nights at Freddy's was
Oh my gosh, they're not going to mention the storage unit?
movie, there was only one question
I gotta
on
mention
everyone's
that storage
mind.
unit.
What classic YouTubers are gonna show up? Well, that's when Golden Freddy and Abby take a cab ride, only for the taxi driver to be Corey Genshin.
Oh my goodness.
And of course, he's not the only one. In the Employee of the Month section of the pizzeria, you could spot famous FNAF creators like Dako, Razbowski, 8-Bit Ryan, and Fusion Z Gamer. But if there is one person we all associate with Five Nights at Freddy's, it has to be Matt.
How do you say associate? You said associate. Is that how you say it? I say associate.
But if there is one person we all associate with Five Nights at Freddy's, it has to be Matt Pat. And luckily, he also...
He made a video playing it?
Person we all associate with Five Nights at Freddy's, it has to be Matt Pat. And luckily, he also got his very own role in the movie as a server.
Maybe that's...
Do you have a side hustle that you've been playing around with and thinking about starting, but don't really know how to? Well,
You know, it's just a theory.
But here's some fun trivia for you. Do you recognize the voice of this little guy in Kung Fu Panda 4?
Skadoosh.
He only has a single word in the whole movie, but if you have good ears, you'll know that this is Mr. Beast, adding yet another blockbuster to his IMDb page. Let's quickly go back to the Minecraft Mr. Beast. Do you recognize the voice of this little guy in Kung Fu Panda 4?
Skadoosh.
He only has a single
Okay, yeah,
word
that
in
does
the whole
actually kind of
movie,
sound
but
like
if you
him.
have good ears, you'll know that this is Mr. Beast, adding yet another blockbuster to his IMDb page. Let's quickly go back to the Minecraft movie because, let's be honest, they couldn't have made this without including the most famous YouTubers from over the years.
Okay, yeah.
Sure, we already had Technoblade, but he wasn't the only legend to show up.
Yeah,
During the storage unit auction, Jason Momoa is competing against some other...
I was thinking, it would be weird, because if they mention Technoblade, I feel like one Minecraft movie reference after another, you know, they're going to mention the storage unit as, what was Technoblade, number 3? Yeah, I feel like they were going to do this as number 4, but number 6? I don't know.
Other bidders, and their actors shocked fans inside the cinema. You can see Afmao, LD Shadow Lady, Mumbo Jumbo, and of course Dan TDM. Now, you're probably thinking, why didn't they invite people like Tommy in it? Well, don't worry. Dan TDM and Tommy both got to appear in Black Mirror Season 7. This just came out, and fans were immediately shocked to see these two as fighter pilots. Although, if you were a YouTuber, the last place you'd want to show up is on South Park. Luckily, when the team approached PewDiePie to appear in the series, they weren't making fun of him. Instead, they wrote an entire episode about Let's Plays.
Ike is watching PewDiePie play Dragon Age.
I'm going dun 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 dun.
But I gotta admit, I've seen Sponge out of water like 10 times, and I had no idea that a YouTuber was hiding in it. When the seagulls are singing the SpongeBob theme, Bubbles the Dolphin shows up to rain on their parade. Now, he's played by Matt Berry and starts to rap battle against them, but unfortunately for him, the seagulls are played by Peter and Lloyd from Epic Rap Battles of History.
Well, no to hear from you.
But if I told you that Logan Paul once showed up in a movie, what would be your guys' guess? If you said Baywatch, congratulations, you're technically right. Except, his cameo was actually deleted from the final cut of the movie. Despite the fact that Logan had an entire minute of screen time, I guess it just wasn't meant to be.
You're out.
Come on, I'm Zane.
Get the f off my beach.
A bit of a lesser-known movie, though, is Finding Ohana. And while this Netflix original might not sound familiar, a certain cameo from a YouTuber will definitely ring a bell. At one point during the film, Hana calls a friend to look for the kids. And that very friend is played by none other than Ryan Higa.
Would you be interested in, doing something?
I would love that, Ryan.
Now, the biggest surprise when making
Is that
this
like
video
a big role
was
though?
just how many movies Dan TDM is in. Dan somehow also shows up in Free Guy, but he's not the only one. This movie is
How many has he been in? He's been in the Wreck-It Ralph movie, Free Guy. He made videos on those two, but apparently he's also in Black Mirror Season 7. He's also in the Minecraft movie now. That's 4 cameos
absolutely
in
stacked
television.
with YouTubers and streamers, letting you spot Ninja, Pokimane, Jacksepticeye, and Laserbeam as they cheer on the main character. Honestly, probably the easiest scenes to film. These guys didn't even need to leave their house. Although, I can't say the same for Casey Neistat. In the film Nerve, it's all about people being sent dares by viewers in return for money. And what's crazy is Casey is dared to steal a cop's gun. Clearly, he's had a lot of fun acting, and that's why he showed up in another movie just a few years later, Project Power. Instead of stealing a cop's gun, Casey has to fight Jamie Foxx, and it turns out one of the scenes went horribly wrong. As he's getting beat up, Casey accidentally bumped his head into glass, which actually gave him a black eye in real life.
And Jamie grabs the back of my head and boom! And I should have stopped it because he wasn't using any force, it was all me. And instead of stopping, I went whack, poof, and then straight whoa! See that? Look at the size of that welt right there. Look at that.
One creator who has totally upgraded their job title over the last few years is Troye Sivan. He might be a world-famous musician right now, but he had humble beginnings as a full-on YouTuber. And apparently, a child actor? Yeah, did you know he's actually in X-Men Origins? And I don't just mean as a cameo, he's the one who plays young Wolverine. Honestly, his career's kinda nuts when you think about it. Now, a well-known comedy creator is Flula Borg. He's mostly known nowadays as the guy who does those 2 a.m. rants about random topics.
So, are you a shower or a grower? What? Am I a shower or a grower? What is this, like a riddle? No, I'm not a shower.
Although, Flula is a veteran comedian, and James Gunn was clearly a fan. So much so, he actually asked him to play Javelin in the Suicide Squad. While he's hilarious in the film, he's also hysterical on set, even making Margot Robbie break character.
Performance is very difficult. I was ready for it, and then it keeps flopping. If the moment is right, will he be ready? No.
While most of these YouTubers have had speaking roles or obvious cameos, there's one creator that no one noticed was hiding in Transformers.
What?
In Rise of the Beasts, one of the main characters is RC, the most famous female Transformer.
What?
Most viewers had no idea that she's voiced by the iconic Liza Koshy. Since leaving YouTube, she's become a super busy actress, appearing in My Little Pony, Good Burger 2, and even getting her own show called Liza on Demand. Now, one of the funniest times a YouTuber has appeared in a film has to be Moist Critical. If you watch Charlie's videos, you probably already know that he once showed up as an extra in the Hunger Games.
I was originally positioned where this one girl's head is poking out. That was supposed to be me, but my plan was I knew this kid was going to be in the movie no matter what because he's an actual actor. So my plan was to sit up as straight as possible, as erect as I've ever been in my life. The world's most perfect posture. But what they ended up doing is they told me to switch with the person they ended up putting there, which is this person that's poking their head out. They changed me because I was blocking their shot. I was too intrusive, so they ended up putting me a little more ahead. If you pause the movie right here, you can see my arm doing the one of these, or whatever the symbol is for Hunger Games.
But sometimes YouTubers have so many acting roles that you had no idea they were even a creator. Jimmy Tatro has his own channel called Life According to Jimmy, where he does tons of skits. But this guy has also shown up in major films like 22 Jump Street.
No, this is actually my laptop. Yeah, I'm taking notes right now. I'm kidding, it's a football.
And if you're thinking, man, I really recognize this guy, he was also the main character in American Vandal, which got him nominated for a Critics' Choice Award. Now, if you're a longtime viewer of Smosh, you'll probably remember the time Ian and Anthony appeared in Angry Birds. They had their very own little cameo, but then things turned sour. Anthony left Smosh and they didn't talk for years. So when Angry Birds 2 came out, the creators only asked Anthony to return for another cameo. Luckily, they became friends and brought their channel back, but to this day, they still make jokes about how Ian was never able to show up in the second Angry Birds.
Told Angry Birds I wouldn't do a Smosh-related voice in the second movie, so they didn't cast you in it.
Oh my god.
I think the lie is the Angry Birds. I don't think you. I don't think you would have done that. Right?
But perhaps the most impressive role you could ever snag as a YouTuber has to be a Marvel movie. And
Yeah.
of course,
I've been really quiet. I've been trying to keep this in because there's a huge chance it is taken the wrong way. Transformers. When it came up with like Transformers and stuff, like some of these are actually like in like big roles in big franchises, like Transformers, and like apparently now there's a Marvel movie. I want to see what this is.
hiding in the background of Ant-Man's flashback, most fans were distracted by Stan Lee's cameo. In fact, this led to us all missing an appearance from Anna Akana.
Tells Ignacio, yo, I'm like a boss in the world of guerrilla journalism, and I got mad connects with the peeps behind the curtains, you know what I'm saying?
And those were 21 YouTubers.
Wait, yeah, like that's what I mean. Like that's a big role
All missing an appearance from
a
Anna Akana.
giant movie.
Ignacio, yo, I'm like a boss in the world of guerrilla journalism, and I got mad connects with the peeps behind the
Yeah, like I don't get it. Like that is a huge role. It's like, hold up, wait, I'm switching around OBS. All right, it's like, all right, so that was that. Get out! I'm just kidding. No. I'm not gonna. No, I need the links for the description so you can easily access these. Okay, we'll save that one for last. Actually, 24 video games that roasted movies. Kind of flipping this. A lot of video gaming YouTubers here. Video games kind of carry over to this one. Movie, kind of flipping it. Instead of being in movies, these games are roasting movies. Okay, let's just start it.
Did you know that South Park once trolled The Matrix?
But now I will break through it with Nagasaki!
Or what about the time Lego mocked Star Wars?
Oh, yeah.
Just a few examples of video games roasting movies, but my personal favorite's hiding in Borderlands, the pre-sequel. If you head to the top of the Darksiders building, you'll come across this guy named Parsec, and he's dressed suspiciously like Buzz Lightyear.
Oh my gosh.
Now, the devs are obviously poking fun at Toy Story here, with Parsec being another word for Lightyear. Not to mention Buzz's inability to fly.
That's That's actually really funny.
But a game that took things even further was Multiverses. When it first released, Warner Bros. Made the devs put Black Adam front and center, literally shoving him into all the promo material. Now, this wasn't really too surprising, considering how confident they were about its success.
The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change.
Well, you're watching this in the future, and we all know the movie absolutely bombed at the box office. So, of course, the developers got their revenge in a super clever way.
What you're supposed to be rearranging the hierarchy or something?
Got him! And over in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, the helicarrier
That's actually...
is full of places to visit. And if you head down into the basement, you'll find an NPC that needs some help.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Oh, yeah, I did that mission and I didn't realize the reference. Maybe because I had no idea what Snakes on a Plane was.
Now, if you're not familiar, this is a reference to Snakes on a Plane, one of Samuel L. Jackson's most popular movies, who also plays Nick Fury. And of course, this guy had the same question we all had.
How'd they even get on board?
Yeah.
Director Fury told me specifically to get these snakes off this gosh darn helicarrier.
I have had it with these snakes on this plane.
But no one makes fun of movies like South Park.
I need to watch that movie because I have no idea how the heck snakes got on a plane. How? Do they have to go through TSA or something?
I mean, these guys are the kings of trolling celebrities. So when they released Stick of Truth...
Snake TSA.
Let's just say the movie theater gave them the perfect opportunity to roast Rob Schneider.
Until one day, a derp, and tumpty-tiddly-dumpty-derp, Rob Schneider is da-derp-de-derp-de-tiddly-derp-de-derp-de-derp.
And that's not the only video game theater to troll you. In Goat Sim 3, they went down a more horrifying route. You'll see posters advertising a film called Where the Heck is Steve, and it's pretty obvious it's a parody of Finding Nemo.
Funny.
Well,
Where the
that's
heck
until
is
you
Steve?
realize how different it actually is.
Meet Steve, a playful little fish, on his way of becoming sushi.
Oh!
This game, you're not ready for it.
Okay. Oh! Oh my. Where the heck is Steve? In that
Games
guy's
just love
stomach.
making fun of movies, but TV isn't safe either. Especially when devs need an idea for billboards around the map. Like in Dying Light 2, where they had to come up.
Like these... Hey,
Games just love making
these
fun of
two
movies,
should have
but
been
TV
part of
isn't safe
this.
either. Especially when devs need an idea
wanna
for
see-
billboards
I wanna see
around the
what
map. Like in Dying Light 2, where they had to come up with a
Wait, I'm gonna guess what they're from.
Games just love making
We
fun
all
of
know that's The Shining.
movies, but TV isn't safe either. Especially when devs need an
Wait, what? I have no
Games
idea.
just love making fun of movies, but TV
What
isn't
this
safe
is.
either. Especially
The
when
game might
devs need an idea for billboards around the map. Like in Dying Light 2, where they had to come up with a goofy advertisement and decided to make fun of a fellow zombie franchise, creating The Walking Dad Musical of the Year. What's next? A joke 2 with Joaquin Phoenix? And what's really funny is it wouldn't be the first game to roast bad Joker movies. Even Arkham Knight is sick of terrible actors like Jared Leto.
Oh, Bruce. I know how you feel. This Arkham Wannabat. The same way I feel about those cheap Joker knockoffs you've got at the movie studios.
Now, I personally prefer space epics like Star Wars, except even when they have an insanely cool villain, the internet always finds a way to turn it into a joke. Like when Kylo Ren was talking to Rey, and for some reason had to a joke. Insanely cool villain, the internet always finds a way to turn it into a joke. Like when Kylo Ren was talking to Rey, and for some reason had no shirt on. Obviously, this spawned a non-stop cycle of jokes, and when it came to the LEGO adaptations, the games had to make fun of the movie.
Can you see my surroundings?
You're gonna pay for what you did.
I can't see yours.
You're too late. You lost. I found Skywalker.
Did he tell you what happened?
And just like the film, when we're trying to enjoy the story, they just keep zooming to, well... But let's take it back to Stick of Truth, because they were only just getting started with the roasts. At one point, you wake up in a white space and are confronted by Terrence and Phillip. Except, any fans of The Matrix will instantly recognize what's going on here.
You must learn to control your anus muscles in just the right way to change a spell's frequency. Nagasaki!
Bruh. Another crude game is Postal Brain Damaged, and these guys are basically on the same level as South Park when it comes to ridiculous Easter eggs. Like when you go behind this waterfall, only to find Sam and Frodo from Lord of the Rings. only one problem.
No.
They're not looking too good.
Fatality.
But if you've played the old school Tomb Raiders, you'll probably remember the classic reference to Indiana Jones. You gotta run from a boulder in this scene because, I mean, how could you not do this? Except these devs also included a subtle roast. If you look really closely at the boulder, you could make out the outline of a whip and a hat, basically confirming that Indy was flattened. Considering she got away, I guess Lara Croft is the better archaeologist after all. And there's a hidden detail in Battlefront 2
Indiana Jones
that accidentally makes fun of the Star Wars films. If you pay close attention to Vader's helmet, you can see smudges and fingerprints all over it, something that doesn't show up in other games. Except it does show up on the real Vader helmet from the movies. This is because the crew of the original film kept touching the helmet between takes, leaving tons of marks all over it. And whether EA knew this or not, they ended up reviving the team's mistake decades later. And that's not the only way to roast film crews. In Dead Rising 4, one of the diners includes this random briefcase. Now, it has a pistol inside, which is what most players are looking for, except it also includes a light bulb. Well, if you connect the dots from the diner to the briefcase contents, it becomes a hilarious jab at Pulp Fiction.
We happy? Vincent! We happy? Yeah, we happy.
In the film, the contents are meant to be a mystery, but to achieve the glowing effect, they had to use a light bulb. And Dead Rising is just out here making fun of it. But Star Wars
that's a
Outlaws
pretty good
recently
reference.
dropped, and players all had the same idea, rushing to Mos Eisley in search of Easter eggs. Although they were not expecting the Cantina to roast them in return. For decades, fans have been adamant that Han shot first in the movies, which if true, would make him a straight-up murderer. Fans have been adamant that Han shot first.
You blind or something? You can clearly see. You can clearly see. He did not shoot first. Look at this. Sounds so weird. I hate this. Look at Greedo's gun. Are you blind? Look, lasers coming out of it. There's a laser. Look, bam. Look at there. Look at his gun. See. You see that? If you look very carefully, right here, he lifts it right there. If they weren't at the same time, Greedo shot first. They were either at the same time or Greedo shot first. Because Greedo shot first.
Shot first in the movies, which if true, would make him a straight-up murderer. Except Ubisoft disagrees, as you can find a scorch mark on the wall showing that Greedo 100% shot first and missed.
He did. He shot first.
Saying, nope,
they just like forgot the gunshot effect or something.
For decades,
because look, you can see the laser comes out a millisecond before Han's laser comes out. Don't say anything bad about my boy Han Solo.
Showing that Greedo 100% shot first and missed. Basically saying, nope, you guys are all wrong. But Cyberpunk somehow found a way to turn a glitchy mess into a movie roast. At launch, NPCs were insanely broken, causing them to constantly walk into walls. So instead of just solving this, the devs turned this wall into platform 9 3/4 from the Harry Potter films. This would already be a great way to poke fun at the movies, but then they went and took things even further, adding their own Cyberpunk spin to it by calling this platform 69 3/4.
Nice.
Now, earlier we watched the Joker make fun of The Rock, but he returns in Arkham City to roast a classic TV show. At one point, he asked Batman,
Joker's on a roll. He's roasted Black Adam. He's roasting Jared Leto.
Be happy? Does it make sense? How come it all ended in a church?
yeah, I guess Joker isn't the biggest fan of Lost. The show had one of the most famous endings ever just because of how much it confused everyone. And if you were wondering, a ton of people were asking,
how come it all ended in a church?
Wait, look at...
And sure, the series gets roasted a lot, but not as much as another infamous franchise, Twilight. And of course, when The Last of Us came out in...
I've never watched this movie, but... I've seen enough already. I've never watched it, and I'm already sick of it.
2013, they couldn't resist joining in.
I saw this right before the outbreak.
You did? Is he totally gutted by the end?
Nobody gets gutted. It's a dumb teen movie.
And it really seems like the Matrix can't catch a break out here because even Lego City Undercover makes fun of them. This time with a hilarious...
Another game that I played this mission. I've only said that with Lego games. I have played the other games in this, don't worry. I've just only, because I've completed those two.
Recreation of the Kung Fu scene.
It's like, well, the other one's a side mission, this one's a main mission, so.
I know kung fu. Show me.
I want some person who knows kung fu to tell me, is this real kung fu? Okay, I'm assuming not. No, this is real kung fu right here.
Now, LEGO loves
Kung
doing
fu
stuff
action.
like this, and that's especially true when it comes to Star Wars. At one point in the Rise of Skywalker section, the Sith Troopers start to roast their own screen time in the films.
Finally, our first mission. Oh boy, we finally get to do something.
Considering these guys were barely in the movie,
Yeah, they need
this
more
one feels
screen
like a
time. Those
deserved
guys were
jab.
awesome.
Unlike the savage Easter egg hiding in Maneater, since you're swimming along the ocean floor, you're bound to run into shipwrecks. Like, well, a recreation of the Titanic.
This recreation of the Titanic was so accurate, 1,500 people died during its maiden voyage.
Oh.
And of course, those two people on the front seem to be Jack and Rose. As for Goat Simulator, I think this franchise will make fun of anything that moves. Not even Pennywise is safe from their jokes, as you can enter a sewer and discover his lair. Instead of being some terrifying alien clown, the devs showed us exactly how little they respect him.
Scary goat. Oh, not my new jeans. At least look cool.
Kinda reminds me of the
Okay.
roast in Saints Row 4. At one point, you can find an incredible homage to the film Airplane. In the famous scene, they reveal the autopilot is actually a blow-up doll. Already a hilarious gag, yet Saints Row decided to take this even further, turning Otto into, well, you know what that is.
Yeah.
But one of the weirdest choices in cinema is when Demolition Man decided to portray the future. In order to come up with something that felt futuristic, they replaced the toilet paper with seashells? This is one of the most absurd things in movie history, and even the director had no excuse for this. So years later, you could load up Cyberpunk 2077 and head into V's bathroom, only to find these infamous seashells. I guess they were futuristic after all. But a super underappreciated roast is hiding in Jazz Punk. While cleaning one of the hotels, you can look through a periscope and discover an homage to James Bond. Now this
Is it bad that I was about to go like dooba 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 doo? I'm gonna stop talking.
seems like an innocent reference until you realize the devs took the scene a little too literally. And those were times video games roasted movies.
Okay. Alright, that's actually good. Last one. Let's just check the stats. We have 6 subsies out of 10, 1 likey out of 10. So, okay, alright. So 10%. So we reached 10% of our like goal and 60% of our sub goal. I'm assuming there's not going to be any more because, yeah, you know why. Yeah. So, oh my god. Are you joking? So basically,
Do you remember where?
Oh shoot! I accidentally unpaused it. Basically, the thing I used for it. Bot tricks, whatever. I was gonna add the spectator counter, right? Completely forgot to. So I guess I'm just gonna add that now. This is kind of awkward. Let me add that. Let me insert that in. I just needed watchers in OBS for some reason. They are watching. They are always watching. Alright, it added it. Did it add it? What is... Oh. Alright, cool, it added it. 1 viewer. Alright.
You were on April 4th, 2013. It was the day
I was about less than a month old. I think I was in my house.
Easter eggs changed forever.
Oh!
Yeah, Battlefield added the Megalodon, something so iconic it got me thinking, what is the greatest video game Easter egg from every year? Expedition 33 has been taking the world by storm, and while it has a pretty serious tone, there's an Easter egg that's the opposite. After completing Gestrel Ascension, you can head to the beach where you'll find a bunch of platforms going up to the sky.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you probably already guessed it,
Oh, yeah.
but the whole thing is a reference to Only Up, and it is pretty difficult to climb just like the actual game.
Yeah.
But make your way to the very top, and you'll be rewarded with an extremely rare outfit. And over in Battlefield 2042, fans spotted a sign that warned them of sharks in the water. Now, nothing could be spotted, making us realize this might be the first step of a classic Easter egg. Searching around, they discovered fans spotted a sign that warned them of sharks in the water.
Oh my
now,
God.
nothing could be spotted, making us realize this might be the first step of a classic Easter egg. Searching around, they discovered multiple laptops you could actually pick up that would teleport to the shark sign. And in true Battlefield tradition, it wasn't done there. Now you had to activate these in a secret order, then finally make 3 sacrifices to the ocean. All of this effort would unleash the one, the only, Sharknado.
What the hell is even that?
While exploring Kobo and Jedi Survivor, you could find a cave that seems normal until you take a closer look and realize that's an invisible hole in the wall. It is just one of the game's many shortcuts, but usually these get you to an area quicker, whereas this one completely trolls the player. It forces you to cram yourself down a corridor for 5 straight minutes.
Oh my
and your
gosh.
reward for doing this? The world's strangest art class.
All you need to do is download buff, let it run in the background as you play, and just like that you'll start earning buff points. This
Interesting.
Horizon Forbidden West has a mysterious axe art class.
Interesting.
Horizon Forbidden West has a mysterious axe stuck in a tree.
Guys, I'll be right back. I have to go to the bathroom really bad. Actually. I've been holding it in for like an hour now. I really have to go. So. Have fun watching this random screen. I'm back. Hello. And I just remembered I don't actually have a thumbnail for this video. That'll be fun to do later. Alright, let's see what's in Horizon Forbidden West.
And if you scan it, you could follow this invisible
What happened to
path.
2023?
Award for doing stuck in a tree. And if you scan it,
I'm so stupid.
you could follow
I rewinded multiple times.
this invisible path towards a secret totem. Here you'll find the man himself, Kratos, hiding in the snow. But it goes way further than this. There are 2 other totems belonging to Atreus alongside Brock and Sindri. Once you've collected them all, you'll unlock an exclusive item, the God of War face paint.
Alright.
Nice.
Another secret is the touching tribute around the Isle of Sea of Thieves. There are over 22 journals scattered in the world, and they belong to a pirate known as Glitterbeard. Reading through them, you'll learn about how he appreciates nature, kindness, and life at the sea. Only the most dedicated players were able to track them all down, and with only 1 remaining, they were told to head to Plunder Valley. Here, there was now a tree covered in bottles, and it was impossible to activate on your own. In order to proceed, 7 other players had to join in and celebrate the life of Glitterbeard. Now, they all had to play instruments in the right locations, triggering the most beautiful Easter egg of 2021.
Yeah. Aww.
Entering the cave, they finally got their hands on the last journal, learning that Glitterbeard was the nickname of a real person, James White. He was a developer that worked at Rare, who sadly passed away in 2020. Thanks to this Easter egg, his co-workers made sure he would live on forever. And speaking of 2020, this was the year Modern Warfare got a reboot.
The sudden change just from this
on forever.
beautifulness to.
And speaking of 2020,
Call of
this was the year Modern Warfare got a reboot. And while many things were different, one tradition remained the same: teddy bears. Whenever people see these in Call of Duty, they immediately shoot them. And on the Isle 9 map, this would lead to a hilarious Easter egg. Yeah, this was an amazing roast to all those people who stashed toilet paper during lockdown. And it wasn't the only FPS to surprise players. Apex Legends fans noticed there were a ton of adorable toys on the map resembling the Loch Ness Monster. And even better,
we're getting to the area where I cannot remember anything from this portion of my life.
You could shoot these little guys, causing the kill feed to say a Nessie appears. Wipe out every single toy on the map, and it'll turn from a plushie to the real thing.
What?
Surfaces. There he is.
What?
Look at him.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah, we did it, dude.
Kinda reminds me of the greatest video game weapon of 2018. Battlefield 5 had these strange boxes on the map that pointed you in a certain direction. Now, of course, following these would lead you to a secret dig site. And as we all know, X marks the spot.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
2017 is the year gaming changed forever with Breath of the Wild.
That's okay. Wait, that's actually genius with the. Oh.
2017
That's
is
actually
the
the
year
right
gaming
way to do
changed
it.
forever with Breath of the Wild. And hiding inside this world, you could find a man who made the vision possible.
Yeah.
Satoru Iwata passed away in 2015, and at the
Dang.
time, Nintendo were in the middle of making a new Zelda. Now, obviously, this was a monumental loss for the industry, and Breath of the Wild's director said, there were moments we'd come up with an idea which we'd be excited to talk to.
Wait. What came out before that? Legend. Oh my. What? How? Okay. Triforce Heroes. Alright.
To Iwata about, but then we remember he was no longer here. So when the game finally released 2 years later, it was only right to include a tribute to Iwata in the form of an NPC. He has the exact same haircut and glasses, with his quest description saying, "This holy creature is a reincarnation of a sage that died on the lands it now protects. It's sometimes known by its other name, Satori." Now, if you didn't know, Satori is derived from the name Sataru, easily making this the best Easter egg of 2017. But what about when developers want to pay tribute to their humble beginnings? Well, Uncharted 4 has an extremely hidden item that shocked players. By swinging into this small crevice, you can pick up the Wumpa fruit from Crash Bandicoot. And yeah, it's even back in its full pixelated glory.
Oh my
but
gosh.
there was an Easter egg in 2015 that nobody discovered until 8 years later. The developers of The Witcher 3 kept claiming nobody had found their last secret. And it wasn't until 2022 when Latalis finally...
So it looks like it's not when they were found, it's when the game came out. So it's Easter eggs from games of that year.
Covered it. It all revolves around this character, Vivian, a woman who is slowly transforming into a bird due to a curse.
There might be someone at my front door. Let me check my little window. There is literally no one there. My dog is just barking.
Now, once you get to the end of her quest line, there is an option to cure her, but unfortunately, there's a problem.
The changes will be irreversible. You'll probably also only have 7 years left to live, at the most.
Little do we know, he was not kidding. If you return to Vivian after 7 real-life years, you could watch as she drops dead on the spot.
Drops dead on the spot. He says drops dead on the spot. I punched my mic.
Watch as she drops dead on the spot.
Drops dead on the spot, you say. It says this chapter is Uncharted.
Now, the Talos Principle is known for its secrets, but the strangest one is hiding behind this door. At first it says entry denied, and if the stamp looks familiar, that's because it's from the iconic indie game Papers, Please. Most people would just walk away after this, yet if you come back after finding the approved stamp, the door will unlock. This sends you miles underground to a secret theater, and here you'll find the real developers waiting for a movie to start. And yeah, there is a movie.
Alright. What? Oh.
The fun of
Okay.
Star Wars parodies aside,
I love my
you
Star
could just
Wars
sit here and watch an
references.
actual short film where the main character is revealed to be Serious Sam.
What is this? So we've got a 20th Century Fox reference, Star Wars reference, Papers, Please reference. There. Now this.
Now we're in 2013, and its greatest Easter egg is one of the most iconic in gaming
Best
history.
year ever. Best year ever. Ever. I'm saying that right now. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at all these. Yeah. Look at all that. Geometry Dash. Warframe. Deadpool. Lego City Undercover. Black Flag. Talked about that. Last of Us. Battlefield 4. Grand Theft Auto 5. I keep forgetting that came out. Saints Row 4. Dead Rising 3. Batman Arkham Origins. The list goes on and on. Dota 2. 2013's best gaming year.
I'm of course talking about Battlefield 4's Megalodon. The community spent actual months trying to discover how to activate this, and when they finally learned the secret, we were all blown away.
Oh, there it is.
Oh my. Oh.
Yeah, it still might not be as famous as the year before it, when Minecraft took over the world. Not only was it the game of 2012, it had an Easter egg that's still iconic to this day. All you had to do was simply rename a mob to Dinner Bone.
Oh, I know this. Everybody knows this. Oh, the OG music.
All you had to do was simply rename a mob.
The OG
to
music
Dinner
in
Bone.
time with the naming.
Over in The Witcher 2, fans are still laughing at this guy who faceplanted straight into the floor.
Yeah.
This was an obvious jab to Assassin's Creed's Leap of Faith, with the devs clearly roasting the idea, showing exactly what would happen if you tried it. Personally, I love how the devs at Just Cause 2 designed an entire region in the map to be an Easter egg. You can't fly over here and scout the area, because your plane will immediately explode in the air.
Okay.
Now you're stranded, stuck on this mysterious island and terrified of huge forests. Seems familiar, right? Especially when you find things like this hatch in the ground, or an immortal figure that's followed by smoke. By now, it should be pretty obvious the whole island's a reference to Lost. Arkham Asylum made waves across the world when it came out, and people were already desperate for a sequel. If only they knew what was hiding in the warden's office. If you sprayed explosive gel at this exact spot on the wall, it would reveal a secret room. And inside were plans for a giant prison in North Gotham known as Arkham City. Yeah, the announcement for the next game was hiding in here all along, and there was even concept art. But I have to award the best Easter egg of 2008 to World at War, for one reason. It turned into the most successful tradition in Call of Duty history. And yes, I'm talking about zombies. This entire mode was literally just a post-credits Easter egg, and fans loved it so much it spawned a whole genre. And another secret can be found hiding in Halo 3's title screen. This one took 9 years to discover, because it could only be done on a single day, December 25th. When pressing down both sticks on the controller, text appears saying "Happy Birthday, Lauren," a super sweet message from a developer to his wife. Hitman Blood Money remains one of the best games in the franchise for a reason. The levels are full of secrets, like the Opera Theater's basement. Down here, you can find 3 rats, and anyone who's freaked out by rodents risks blowing their cover just to shoot them. Instead of getting caught, though, they were given a key card instead. It allowed them to get into this hidden locked door, getting access to the exclusive Rat Lounge. Here they play poker, eat pizza, drink soda, and even bet on their own fight club.
That's pretty funny.
Early in Resident Evil 4's story, you could discover a dog stuck in a bear trap.
With AI, almost anything is possible. But that goes for cybercriminals too. They can create threats so convincing.
Saving him is the obvious thing to do, but what players did not expect was the dog to return the favor in a late-game boss fight.
Hey, it's that dog.
Oh?
But I couldn't make this video without talking about the absolute classic Easter egg in San Andreas. If you grab a jetpack and make your way to the top of the Golden Gate Bridge, all you'll find is a simple message. Over in the sands at
But that counts as an Easter
You could find an Easter egg without even starting the game. On the main menu, you could do a specific series of jumps and weapon moves to enter a secret level. The entire thing is an homage to the very first Prince of Persia, and you could even find artifacts along the way like this sword. Once you make it to the end, you'll find a room filled with alcohol, cigarette boxes, and a huge painting on the wall. A sweet love letter from the developers to you, the Easter egg hunters. But what about when a secret falls right into your lap? Well, players can explore the land of Morrowind and suddenly find a wizard falling from the sky.
RPG elements back. Oh my god. What the hell is that? Wow. What?
Now, you could just ignore him and mind your own business, but everyone is curious enough to loot this guy. On his corpse, you'll find a spell that gives you a super jump. Okay, so it doesn't take a genius to figure out why this wizard fell to his death. But as always, players just feel like he did it wrong. Surely we'll be able to use it wisely, right? In 2001, we were treated to Silent Hill 2, and fans quickly realized there were a ton of endings. What no one expected, though, was the true story to appear once you found all of them. With the game beaten 4 separate times, you'd finally get the grand reveal. Yeah, a dog was controlling everything. Considering the story of Silent Hill 2, this might be the most evil dog in video games. But Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 gave us the first mind-blowing Easter egg of the millennium. And you could only find this if you beat the entire game and collected every tape. With all of this complete, you can now arguably play as the best skater in the world, Spider-Man. It was pretty insane for the time. But now we're in 1999, where the first Silent Hill game took the world by storm. As you know by now, they're pretty good at secret endings, and even the first game had one. If you replayed the whole story and used the channeling stone in 5 different locations, you'd get abducted.
What? Oh, what?
1998 was the year everything changed for gamers, because Metal Gear Solid was able to break the 4th wall. Yeah, during the Psycho Mantis boss fight.
Oh, I heard about this. I heard about this. This is so cool.
Your memory card and call out what games you were playing.
You like Suikoden. So, you like Azure Dreams? You like Castlevania, don't you? I can read you like an open book.
And the only way to defeat Psycho Mantis was to physically move your controller to a different port so it would block his mind-reading powers. It was pretty insane. And it was here in the late 90s that classic video game characters started to make a name for themselves, like Lara Croft. Now, gamers were so thirsty that when they heard Tomb Raider 2 had a naked cheat code, they rushed to do it.
Oh, I heard about this too.
Forwards, backwards, forwards, 3 rotates, and then finally a jump. What they expected was her clothes to come off, and what they got was...
Yeah. Best Easter egg.
But instead of trolling their fans, the developers of Resident Evil decided to thank them. Back in 1996, the first game was actually called Biohazard, and there was a secret for only the most dedicated. In 1996, the first game was fans. The developers of Resident But instead of trolling their fans, the developers of Resident Evil decided to thank them. Back in 1996, the first game was actually called Biohazard, and there was a secret for only the most dedicated players. If you completed the entire game with invisible enemies turned on and did it in under 5 hours, you would get a personal thank you letter from the game's director. Thank you for taking the time to play all the way through Biohazard. If you're reading this letter, I salute you. You are truly a remarkable player. Please allow me to express our gratitude and congratulate you on a job well done. Now, throughout the 90s, we had a ton of Star Wars games, including Dark Forces. In one of the levels, you could use the invincibility cheat to jump off the edge of the map. Once you've survived the fall, you can now type in a cheat to climb up walls and enter a hidden room. Most players had no idea, but there's an even deeper secret room hiding inside of here. All you had to do was press the action button and open the door, revealing a chained-up Ewok. He's looking a little desperate to escape, but if you're even crazier than him, you could straight up wipe him out.
Oh!
In 1994, the team behind Doom 2 added a secret that changed the idea of a final boss forever. At the end of the game, you come up against the Icon of Sin, and once you've defeated him, congratulations, you've beaten the game. But while that's how the story's supposed to end, what nobody realized is that there's an Easter egg that can only be found using cheats. If you no-clip through the enemy's face, you'll discover the severed head of John Romero, the co-creator of Doom.
And will lie with
this might sound like gibberish, but if you reverse the audio, it's revealed to be John's own voice.
To win the game, you must kill me, John Romero.
And that's not the only creator to get reversed. In Mortal Kombat 2, you could get 25 wins in a row, letting you unlock a secret enemy, Noob Saibot. Well, if you reverse the letters in this guy's name, it spells out Tobias Boone. The surnames of John Tobias and Ed Boon, the creators of Mortal Kombat. Hiding on the 7th floor of Wolfenstein 3D, you can unlock a secret door that takes you straight to an unknown level. Okay, that was a pretty easy level, right? Huh? Wait, what? Get psyched. Now we're on the 10th floor and we're stuck in a 3D Pac-Man room.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Oh.
And games of the 90s seriously loved their secret rooms, especially Link to the Past. If Link's location was on screen in a certain position, and he changed screens using Pegasus boots, the game would now put you in a mysterious room full of rupees. And if you read the sign, you'd see, "My name is Chris Houlihan. This is my top secret room. Keep it between us, okay?" Now, you're probably wondering, who in the world is Chris Houlihan? Well, turns out, before the game released, Nintendo Power Magazine ran a contest. And the grand prize for the winner, getting your name put in a hidden room. In 1990, The Secret of Monkey Island released. And this was developed by Lucasfilm, the creator of Star Wars and Indiana Jones. So in fitting fashion, there's a moment where you can go into a voodoo shop, pick up a cup, and accidentally turn into the man himself.
Huh? I'm not Indy. Or am I?
Not the only hidden cameo. Tetris for the NES had some incredible secrets that only appeared if you beat a 9 difficulty level in B-Type. Once you completed it, a bunch of Nintendo characters would show up just to congratulate you. 1988's Kung Fu Master is just a side-scroller that lets you kick and punch people. I mean, it's in the name. However, if you press Shift-G while facing left, then this happens.
Oh.
But did you know that the original Metroid game had an insane secret ending? Samus is one of Nintendo's iconic female characters, yet if you beat the game in under an hour, you'd see a little too much fan service.
Okay.
Over in the OG Legend of Zelda, there wasn't a ton hiding in game, but there was one familiar face for Nintendo fans. A lot of players believe the boss Manhandla is directly inspired by the Piranha Plants from Mario, but it still wasn't as iconic as the most famous cheat code of all time. 1985's Gradius was way too difficult during development, to the point where cheat code of all time inspired by the face for Nintendo fans. A lot of players believe the iconic is the most famous cheat code of all time. 1985's Gradius was way too difficult during development, to the point where one of the devs had to make a cheat code to give himself all the power-ups. Except, when the game actually released, it was still left in there. And once players discovered you could hit up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, the Konami code changed gaming forever. Even as far back as Sky Fox, we had secret combos. If you hit Control G while flying, you would unlock a secret Space Invaders level. In 1983, Disney's Atari game The Sorcerer's Apprentice rewarded you for scoring exactly 10,000 points. If you hit this number or a multiple of it, the stars of the sky would turn into letters spelling out PCN. These are the initials of programmer Peter C. Nide. And while we're on the topic of Atari, the year before had introduced Pitfall, a massive game for the console. It was also one of the first video games in history to have hidden shortcuts to skip through levels. This decision was made all the way back in 1982, and it is still influencing games to this day. But what about the original Donkey Kong? This game included an Easter egg that no one discovered for decades. It got to the point where the programmer who added it told people there was a secret, but even he forgot how to unlock it. This led to them putting out a bounty for anyone who could discover it. And in 2009, the mystery was finally solved. Simply set a high score and have it include the numbers 3 and 7 next to each other. Then lose your final life by falling. Next, you had to set the difficulty to maximum and then wait until the end of the demo. After all of this, you could return to the title screen and find the initials LMD. The name of the programmer who added it, Landon Dyer. This was hiding in one of the most famous arcade games, and it took 26 years to find. But what about the very first Easter egg? Well, back in 1980, Atari wouldn't allow developers to credit themselves in games. So this led Warren Robinette to take matters into his own hands. He was secretly going to hide his name in Adventure for the Atari. Now, if you did all of these insanely convoluted steps, you could walk straight through the wall and find the very first Easter egg in video game history, created by Warren Robinette. And those were the best video game Easter eggs from 2025 to 1980.
First Easter.
You could walk straight through the wall and find the very first Easter egg.
That's the first Easter egg. Created by Warren Robinette. Wow. That's a pretty, it's a pretty cool first Easter egg. Makes sense that would be the first one. Alright, so this stream has gone pretty well. How long has it been? About an hour. Just gotta random stuff for an hour now. I'm not gonna do that the entire time. That kind of hurt. I'm just gonna deep. Yep. There we go. Yep. I'm just changing some stuff around in the stream. It's just. I'm just gonna see. It's there. Okay. Cool. It's been an hour 4 seconds. All right. Thank you for watching. The videos were 21 YouTuber Easter eggs in movies, 24 video games that roasted movies, and 46 greatest video game Easter eggs 1980 to 2025, all made by T5G. And I just want to share it with you, a little thing. When you go to YouTube, just be warned, when you look up T5G, it shows top 5 gaming and T5G. Different things. Alright? Top 5 gaming and T5G are different things. Top 5 gaming is Fortnite Battle Royale. Alright? Cool. T5G is like, it's the second channel. Which is weird because for me it's the first. Oh my gosh, 24 secret weapon. Okay, you can't be. You can't just. Okay, that. Okay, that is a. That seems like a good video. I'm just saying. I mean, I do kind of want to get a new record for my longest live stream. Last one was like an hour, 14 minutes or something. Wrong one. I mean, it looks pretty cool. Alright, we're doing it.
The future of your business is here. With Wix, you get advanced
Okay.
AI. Gears of War 3.
Hold up. I think I hear something. Oh boy, let me go do something real quick. I'll be right back. Wendy's was calling. Yes, the company called me. I'm an employee of Wendy's. Yeah, I'm a manager. I have my own Wendy's. Pretty cool. Yeah. Turns out I have a junior baconator coming for me, so gotta make this video quick. Good thing I chose. God, I'm tired.
He's full of secrets, including my favorite of all, a pirate chicken. Most of you would laugh and move on.
All right.
If you press X, the chicken explodes. First step complete. Now you can...
I have my energy back. I just need to get up. Why do you
laugh and move on? But if you press X, the chicken explodes. First step complete. Now you'll come across loot, which is way too good. But every time you grab it, they fall off the map. Until the third attempt, when an old friend helps you out. Congratulations. Cool. Gears of War 3 is full of secrets.
No, what did I do?
I
was just turning the volume up.
With a chicken. Congratulations, you've earned the cluck shot, where you rightfully blast enemies with a chicken to the face.
Oh, chicken.
Dead Space got remade a few months ago, and the devs kept one of its best secrets from the original. If you boot up the game and decide to play Impossible mode, firstly, you're insane, and secondly, it's borderline impossible. This is permadeath and no autosave.
Hence the name Impossible. Just saying, maybe next time before you say it's borderline impossible, maybe look at the title.
So if you die, you gotta start all over again. If you somehow pull it off and beat the game, you can head to the storage locker and be rewarded with a foam finger gun. And I'm not kidding, it's actually the best weapon in the game. Now, you don't have to do 10 million steps for every secret weapon. In Shadow Warrior 2, all you have to do is pay real money. Anyone who owns their other game, Payday 2, gets the money bundle for free. And now you can walk around with a stack of cash instead of a katana. In another video, we talked about the hilarious Easter egg in Saints Row 4. You can find a store named Let's Pretend, and in the basement, it revealed a shooting range full of developers. I mean, seeing a guy pregnant with himself leaves you pretty confused, so it's easy to miss this chair in the corner. It's like any old furniture, except this time, if you get close enough, there's a tiny pistol up for grabs. Now you've got the Loud Locust, which is identical to the gun from Men in Black. And let's just say, it's pretty powerful. And that's not the only amazing reference.
I see it's accurate.
It's the last place you'd expect Mario to appear in is Bayonetta, but it is totally possible. Anyone who beats the entire game on the third highest difficulty gets an exclusive weapon. You don't hold it in your arms like a normal item. Instead, this is Chain Chomp from Mario, and he's tied to your leg. It's totally worth it.
Like it's like a multiple things actually. It's like that. It's like the thing. It's like you like put it on your on your ankle and swing it around like jump over it.
Because it's really strong. From one classic franchise to another, we have Dead Rising, and while the series didn't get over the top until the sequels,
it's also like the thing like in prisons. You can do that if you're strong enough. Yeah.
It was still pretty goofy. For example, if you manage to kill 53,594 zombies in your playthrough, Frank gets rewarded with the Mega Buster. Yep, you're officially Mega Man. Okay, look, if we're making a video on secret weapons, you gotta include Battlefield. They have the best joke items out there, and in Battlefield 1, you can find yourself a handgun. I'm not talking about a pistol. Anyone who goes into the desert and builds a fort right here will unlock the finger gun. Pew, 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 pew. One of the strangest weapons is in Just Cause 3, and considering how much you can do in this game, it's saying a lot. On a random cliff downtown, you'll discover a pistol just laying there. The icon shows a balloon on the ends. Obviously, you gotta pick it up. Wait, my head's massive? Okay, it's gotta be a glitch, right? I'll just shoot someone to test this out, and now they have a big head? I mean, let me try something else. See you later. And somehow in the next game, the guns are even weirder. There's a bush in one of the DLC towns, and if you look closely, you'll find the Tendrilizer. That's pretty disgusting, and I don't know why you want this on your back, but just wait, because things get weird. Shoot the Tendrilizer, and it doesn't fire bullets, it summons this.
Oh my.
Back in Dying Light, there's a secret that can only be found with explosives. Head to this field and throw everything you've got at the ground. Over time, this crater will get larger and larger, revealing hundreds of DVDs. If that wasn't confusing enough, pick up this mysterious blueprint, and now you've earned a chicken on a stick. But still not as adorable as Red Faction's secret weapon in Armageddon. Once you
That better be. This better be the best weapon of the game.
Bird, a chicken on a stick. But still not as adorable as Red Faction's secret weapon in Armageddon. Once you beat the story mode, the game hands you a new way to destroy everything. Introducing Mr. Toots, who comes from a land of magic and wonder, and I'm going out on a whim here. Whatever this magical land is, they eat way too much Chipotle. Another weapon that's alive is in Borderlands 2. There are so many guns here for one video, but my favorite is the Morning Star. It looks like a regular sniper rifle until you shoot it.
If you were a better shot, you wouldn't need to reload. Good job ending that life.
If we're talking about secrets, God of War has an item that even people who own it don't know about. You can find a talisman called the Shattered Gauntlet of Ages, and it can be upgraded with enchantments. As you progress through the game, you'll find these runes, and suspiciously, they all have a theme. Soul, space, time, power, reality, and mind. It sounds like a bunch of nonsense until you compare them to the Infinity Stones from Avengers. Yep, this gauntlet now has an entirely different meaning. But when it comes to Fallout, the entire point of the game is nukes, from surviving them to detonating them, but it still finds a way to surprise you. In the third game, you can find 5 transcripts that each contain a number. Of course, putting them together reveals a secret code. Well, it turns out this is the password for the National Guard's basement, and down here, it's easy to get lost, and there's enemies around every corner, but stay determined and make your way to the end, because the reward is insane. For your efforts, now you've unlocked the experimental MIRV. And looking at the ammo, yeah, that's the Fat Man nuke from World War II, and you've just unloaded 8 of them into a single.
What?
Yeah, that's the your efforts. Now you've unlocked the experimental MIRV. And looking at the ammo, yeah, that's the Fat Man nuke from World War II, and you've just unloaded 8 of them into a single shot. Now, Borderlands 2 has a secret weapon that completely trolls the player. In a side quest, you can find the Bane gun. It has insane damage and would easily be the strongest item in the game, except
like
there
Bane
is
for Batman.
one problem. Every time you shoot it, it makes the most annoying sound of all time. Even the subtitles agree. Well, if you think you can just turn down the volume, good luck, because even when you mute every volume slider, the voice is as loud as ever. Now, I gotta show you this Easter egg in Just Cause 4 because it's one of the greatest secrets in the franchise. People went to this farm that looked super empty. I mean, most of us would just grapple past it and move on, but then they discovered a black and white item on the porch. Picking it up, they now have the cow gun. Have you tried to guess what it does? Nope, it doesn't shoot cows. It's even better.
I thought it shot cows. Does it shoot milk? Turns them into cows.
You never expect Silent Hill to have this weapon.
What if you shoot a cow with it?
It's a horror game that is known for the movie atmosphere, and if you kill 333 monsters, you'll unlock the Heather Beam. Another classic game is Half-Life Opposing Force, and back then, everyone was rushing to find cheat codes. Hacking was super complicated, and mob menus are hard to find, so players relied on these cheats, and I don't think they expected this one to work. From penguins to unicorns, Far Cry New Dawn has plenty of weapons to craft, but none of them are as special as this. With the right amount of materials, you could grab the unicorn flamethrower, and now you'll feel less guilty about burning down forests of people because it looks magical. It's not always that easy.
Okay.
Dying Light 2 has way too many secrets, but the best one lets you... It's not always that easy. Dying Light 2 has way too many...
I've never played Dying Light 2. Is this what the entire game looks like?
secrets, but the best one lets you become Darth Vader.
Hold on 1 second. Let me do something real quick. Wait. I don't know what's going on. Hey.
Do you yes? Yes. What do you want as a backup if they don't have that?
Oh.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Sure. Okay. Anyways.
Scattered around the map, there's evil rubber ducks, and they're super hard to find. Some are in skyscrapers, others underwater, but once you get all 5, you unlock a secret area. Go to the VNC tower, and now the elevator shows the basement level. Then there's another elevator that takes you even lower, and you're basically in the depths of hell now.
It all leads you to the final room, a satanic ritual that you can activate with wires. And I know it's a lot of steps, but it's totally worth it to unlock Dying Force. And if the Star Wars reference isn't obvious enough, it says,
"Be careful not to choke on your aspirations."
And now you can walk around choking zombies like you're Darth Vader.
Not sure.
But I gotta talk about Battlefield 1 again, because there's an even better weapon than the finger guns. You wouldn't expect to find this, but if you get to rank 10 with the Scout class, it lets you buy the Calibri for 150 war bonds. This is a real-life item which has the world record for the smallest gun in the world, and now you can run around with it in Battlefield. I mean, even if the bullets are smaller than a BB pellet, imagine how humiliated you'd be if this killed you. And if we're talking about secrets, Dark Souls has a weapon which the most dedicated players would never find. If you kill Baldur Knights, there's only a 1% chance they'll drop the Baldur side sword, and it is totally worth it. With its good reach and low stamina, people grind for this all the time. Still not as powerful as Cyberpunk's Quick Hack. With the right upgrades and materials, you can unlock the ability to Udo reverse someone, if you get what I mean. They'll immediately point their own gun at themselves, and it's pretty morbid, but it does the job. But my favorite weapon is in GTA San Andreas, because it's not a weapon at all. There are flowers all over the map, and no one expects you to pick them up. But if you do, use it wisely. I mean, sure, you could gift it to CJ's girlfriend, but why do that when you could fight people with it? And yeah, it does more damage than your bare hands, because why not? Drop a like if you enjoyed these 24 secret.
Alright. Alright, how long was it? How long? Let's go. Let's go. Oh my, what, I don't know what I'm doing. That'll be it. I need to make a thumbnail. Goodbye. I will see you hopefully never again. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, that wasn't funny at all. Add emails. What is it? What is this? What? Ooh, orange cat whistling. That is a cool emote right there. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Ah yeah. I had no idea what that is. Engage with my audience? I have no idea what any of this is. Yeah. 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 Start a Q&A, start a poll. Yeah, it's just like the emotes. Stay home. YouTube. I love YouTube. Yeah, I love YouTube. Ah. Well, that'll be it. Goodbye.